explain to me how you reach out and you get Kevin Durant to sit down for an interview. How long had you been working on that?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, DP. I text KD probably about 2 or 3 days before he was to come to Sacramento, where I'm based, where I have a home out there in Sacramento, and let him know I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to, try to get him after the game or before the game. And a lot of times, KD's often busy. Sometimes he sees the text, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put it on his radar. So I did that. He never got a response. So I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure he saw it, but I'll try to get with him at the game. So I arrived at the arena, and Mark Spears, my brother at Anscape, he was there, and we both wanted to chat with KD. So we bumped into KD before he was to take the court for his pregame workout. So we talked to him, chopped it up, man. We haven't seen KD in probably about a year. And so we told him, like, look, we would like to have some time with you. And he was like, no problem. I got you, brothers. I'll get you after the game. So this was actually after the game. And it wasn't a time it wasn't a time in which he felt like venting because of a loss, because, he was frustrated. This was already set.
Okay.
And so I got with him after the game. We spoke for about 15 minutes.
Anything off limits?
No. I think you saw the story.
What jumped out at you, Chris, from what Durant had to say?
Well, I think what jumped out, I think he knew the line of questioning that I was going to come forth with. What jumped out to me was that for whatever reason, he was just prepared to answer those questions. We never really knew why he requested a trade. He goes into details about how he was going to Steve Nash and telling him, look, I don't think we're prepared properly. We're not doing enough practice. We're not doing enough shell drills. We're not spending enough time on defense. And, KD, like, one thing about covering this guy for, I don't know, half a decade, longer than that, on a day-to-day basis, that I know that he's one of the most tireless workers we have in the superstar class in the NBA. And so he really does value what it takes to compete at a championship level. He values the preparation. And so for him saying that speaks volumes. And I know there's a quote out there that he said where he mentions his teammates about, he talked about the starting five that they brought out there in Sacramento. And basically what he was saying is that, there's all this scrutiny on a team that isn't whole, and that's why he mentioned those names. He's like, what are you expecting from that group? He wasn't mentioning it as a disrespect. He's basically saying that these are guys that were not supposed to be starting five caliber guys. They were supposed to be complementary players, and we're doing the best that we can to maximize that group. And in that quote, right after that quote, he says, I'm enjoying playing basketball with them. I'm enjoying getting to see the defenses that teams are throwing against me. And I'm trying to figure it out, navigate it, and work my guys into it. And he's saying he's having probably one of the most fun times of his career. So that part gets left out in him naming that starting five. But, I was just, I really was. I got to be honest. I was just taken back by how upfront he was willing to go that night.